Hi guys, and welcome to lesson 15, numbers. We already learned in the last lesson how to count from 0 to 19. In this lesson, we will learn how to count from 20 upwards. Let's have a look. 20 in German is 20, 20, 30, 30, 30, 40, 40, 40, and 50, 50, 50, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 60, 60, 70, 70, 70, 80, 80, 80, and 90, 90, 90, and the last one, 100, 100, 100, or you can also simply say 100, 100, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Let's have a look on how to form the numbers you just learned. The only number which you have to memorize individually is the number 20, which means 20. For the numbers 30 to 90, you just have to use the number 3 to 9 as a stem. There are again two exceptions. In the first case, we have the number 60, which means 60, and the number 70, which means 70. In both cases, it is like in the previous lesson that you have to cut out the ending. In the word sechs, you have to cut out the S, and in the word sieben, you have to cut out the EN. After using the numbers 3 to 9 as a stem, you have to add either sig with SZ or zig with Z. There's only one case where you use the first option. It's 30, which means 30. For the numbers 40 to 90, you use the second option. Now let's see how to form the numbers 21 and so on. 21 in German is 21, 21, which means 1 and 20. As you can see in German, it's the other way around. It is 1 and 20 rather than 21. 22 in German is 22. 23, 23. 24, 24. And so on until 29, 29. 23, 24, 29. 31, 31. Now let's see how to form the numbers from 40 onwards. 43 in German is 43, 43, 56, 56, 56, and 69, 69, 31, 43, 56, 69. 72, 72. 85, 85. 97, 97. Now let's have a look on how to form the numbers you just learned. First of all, you have to use the numbers 2 to 9 as a stem. There's one exception in the case of forming the numbers with 1. For example, 21, which means 21. And also with the other numbers 31, 41, 51, and so on until 91. As you know, the number 1 is 1. Here you have to cut out the S and just use the word ein as a stem. So 21 is 21. After using the numbers 2 to 9 as a stem, you have to use the word and, which means und, and at the end, add the numbers 20, which means 20, 30, which means 30, and so on until 90, which means 90. Now let's have a look on how to form the numbers above 100. 101 in German is 101 or 101. For 102 we have 102 or 102, and for 103 103 or 103. In the case of the hundreds, you have two options of saying the numbers right. Again, for 101, you can either say 101, which is the longer version, or simply say 101. Now let's have a look at, for example, the number 112, 112, or simply 112. In order to form this number, you just have to add 112 together. So 112, 112 or 112. Let's have a look at 125, 125 or 125. Again, 100 plus 25. And 167, 167 or 167, which is 100 plus 67. Let's continue with 200. In German we say 200, 200, 300, 300, 400, 400, and 500, 500, 200, 300, 400, 500. 600, 600, 700, 700, 800, 800, and 900, 900. 600, 700, 800, 900. Let's see how to form the numbers 200 to 900. You have to use first of all the number 2 to 9 as a stem, and then add 100, which is 100. 1000 in German is 1000 or simply 1000, 2000, 2000, 5000, 5000, and so on until 9000, which is 9000. 1000, 1000, 2000, 5000, 9000. Let's see how to form the numbers 1000 to 9000. For the number 1000, you can either say 1000 or just simply 1000. For the numbers 2000 to 9000, you have to use the number 2 to 9 as a stem and then simply add 1000, which means 1000. 10,000 in German is 10,000, 100,000, 100,000 or simply 100,000, and 1 million, 1 Million. 10,000, 100,000, 100,000, 1 Million. This was lesson 15 with the numbers. Now you are able to count in German, and in the next lessons you will learn about, for example, how to tell the time or how to tell your age. But first of all, I will see you in the next lesson where we will learn about colors.